Hello YouTubes, took a bit of flack over my recent video where I was trying to fix this little Conrail switcher which was having trouble getting over my unpaired frogs. So for once in my life I'm going to listen to you, and today I'm finally going to power my frogs, not those frogs. So what is a frog and why would it need power? Right, I'll give you a close-up and I'll do my absolute best to explain my understanding of how a frog works and what it's supposed to do. I'm going to start with this collection of frogs here since they give me the most issues. I've actually got one there, one there, one there. That one's actually okay. So let me clear this away, just to give me plenty of elbow room. There's going to be some drilling and soldering going on. Here's a close-up of this particular frog, which is currently dead track. Okay, normally left rail power, right rail power comes along. If that track section there is dead, then we only have left rail power. Whether that be positive or negative, we're not completing the circuit between the two. The point being that you need to be able to switch the polarity of that over. For example, left, right, goes along there, that's fine if that's right powered. However, once we do the switch, we have left over here. And if that frog is still powered for right, then left is suddenly meeting right polarity, and that will also be right polarity. So that's not going to work, you need to be able to flip it over. However, I'm not bothering about changing the polarity of this, I just want it powered right rail for now, because here's what happens if that's not powered. And you have an older loco like this. This only picks up power from those two wheels at the front and those two wheels at the back, the diagonal opposite. What does that look like in practice? Let me show you. The power pickups in this locomotive are front right, rear left. So what happens when the front right no longer gets the power? Well, it can't complete the circuit from the right rail to the left rail. If I shove those trucks beyond that dead point, then it will pick up power again. So today we're going to combat that issue by adding power feed wires to the frogs. They'll go underneath the layout and tie in to the power of the track. Now in the future I will add these powered wires via a switch. I might even add one switch for today, just so that I don't accidentally turn the crossover and the train goes round the wrong way and causes all sorts of fire and explosion. But for now, I'm just going to tie them into the main lines so that we don't have the unpaired frog issue anymore. This is kind of future-proofing it for when I do add my motorised turnouts. Now the good news is, I don't have to lift my track to do this. There's my unpaired frog. You see those little holes in that sleeper, that railway tie? That shows me where there's a power strip going underneath the underside of that sleeper. It actually sticks out here, which I've ballasted over, but that's okay. If we scrape away a little bit of ballast, it will reveal a little terminal for me. Right there, you see that little copper strip with a hole in the middle? All we have to do, get a bit of wire, solder it to that. Obviously need to drill a hole down there, and then feed that wire through, attach it to the corresponding right rail bus feed on the underside. However, I do think I'm going to add a switch to that. In fact, I could add a switch to all of them on one switch so that they're all powered either on or off rather than left rail, right rail for now. Actually, I'm just going to update that last statement because that frog is going to be powered the opposite to that frog. That would be, when it's on, it will be the right rail. When that one's on, it will be the left rail. So that one has to be powered the opposite to, I've lost it, that one. And I think this one over here, that would be the right rail, same as that one up there. So that one and that one can be powered the same. That one has to be reversed. It will make sense, hopefully. You know what, this would actually be much easier if I just use a double throw, double pole switch. So off in the middle, on left rail, off, on right rail. That's going to be easier if I can find one of those switches. A little bit more wiring, a little bit more complicated, but actually much easier to use and less likely to fry things. So let me see if I can find the double throw, double pole switch. Otherwise, I'll just be wiring it to go straight all the time, unless I switch it off, and then we have to worry about getting across the crossovers, which I never use anyway, right, Jim? Okay, let me do something. One step at a time. We're going to drill a hole next to that terminal, all the way through the bottom, and because I have 3-4 inches of foam and wood to get through, I need an extra long drill bit. And don't worry if it's a gigantic drill bit, we're going to cover it in ballast anyway. Right, drill a big hole. Big hole drilled. Next step, get some wire and solder it to that end. I have opted for green wire because frog. So I'm going to tin this bit of wire up first, and then I'm going to add a little bit of solder onto the terminal, and then I'm going to feed the wire through, and then solder this to its terminal. Simple as that. So let us see, let's find some solder, some flux, and get started. Nice little blob of solder on that terminal. Get a little bit on this wire, get that tinned up. Lovely. Okay, let's feed the wire down. I've left plenty of wire to connect to wherever it's supposed to go. I'll probably feed it to the front so that I can attach it to a switch, because I still want to add the switch. Don't worry about all that. We've had a bit of natural subsidence. I need to repair all my ballast. It happens. And then when that gets down there, what we'll do is we'll just fold over the top, pair of pliers, try and get it as flattish as possible, like so, and then just solder that on. I do like to add a wee bit more flux at this point, just to get it started, so we will get that attached. It moved. I mean, I think it's attached okay, but you know, no, that's fine. It's fine, it's done. You know, and once you cover that in ballast and stuff, you'll never see it. See, it's all gone, like I was never there. Okay, time to get to the other side. Attach a wire to the bus line, bring it to the front, bring that green wire to the front, attach a switch, connect that up, and that line should be good, at least for straight ahead action. So this is my frog wire coming down. If I just wanted it to be live all the time for the right rail, I could hook it up to this white wire. So under my layout, the white wire is the right rail, the black wire is the left rail. So as I say, I could hook that straight up, and I wouldn't be able to use the turnouts at all because the frog would always be the right rail. So what I'll do is I'll bring this to the front. I will attach another wire to the white, bring that to the front, and I'll use one of these switches to either switch it on or off. So if it's off, it's like we were never there. If it's on, then it's for going straight ahead only. Alternatively, if I can find a double switch, which means it stops in the middle is off, that way would be the left rail, and all the way to the right would be the right rail. Let me see if I can find one. And then what I'll do is I'll grab power from both of these, bring it to the front, bring that to the front. If I find one, I'll show you. Otherwise, one of these is going to that terminal and one of them is going to that terminal. Well, I couldn't find a double throw switch, which is actually a good thing. I would end up buying more of them and then I would never fit these properly. So this is really just temporary until I get my motorized turnouts working, and I'll be hooking the power into those motorized turnouts so that it all works automatically. So let me show you where we're at. We're almost ready to plug it all together, but I do need to make one more thing. So I have my 3 frog wires coming down, left to right. I could have color coordinated these a bit better because that's a right rail, that is a right rail, that one there. But that one's a left rail, so I should have made that one a different color. And I have got 3 wires coming from the right rail, the power pickups, the rail pickups. So 2 white is the right rail, and 1 black is the left rail. I have to wire them all independently because I thought I could wire the 2 right rails, namely this one and this one, those 2 frogs. I thought I could wire them the same. However, it means that if I want to use this turnout and switch it off, then I would also be switching that off. So I'm going to have 3 switches altogether. So what does that look like? It looks like that. This is a bit of a mess. So I do need to double check which is which. I did have the green ones coming out in order. That would be the left, middle, and then right. And these 3 don't matter because both the white are the right rail and the black is the left rail. So these 3 are the power coming in, and then they spit them out to the frogs with these 3 wires. But of course, what am I going to attach them to? Because I do have these lovely switches, but I don't want them dangling in the air with all that power floating about. So I've got this bit of fascia. I'm going to quickly attach to there, attach to that somehow, drill 3 holes for the switches, and then we'll plug everything in. Well, that didn't go quite as I would hoped. As you can see, we have a bit of a split there. I'm hoping I can still get some sort of purchase with one of these switches. Put a screw on there, probably okay. This is temporary, remember. And yes, the wires won't actually be coming through here. That was just so that I could work out which one is which. So, these are the 2 right rail frogs that needs power. Those 2 there, and the black is the left rail frog. Right, let me plug them in, put the switches in, tighten them up, and we'll be done, hopefully. All wired up and ready to go with a bit of luck. Let's give it some power, see if it works. Switch it to DC power, give it some beans. Nope, it's off. Let's catch up. Now the switches are in the off position at the moment, so it should stop. So that is the first switch. So I'm going to press that one to the on position. Yay! Should stop again up here, which is the third one. Put that on, and yes, wonderful. Wait, I need to go around and grab it because we've got to try the other set of points. It went off there because my bridge is up, and I've got a cut-off switch. Right, outside track for that frog there. Still got power, so it should start going when I do this. And it will hopefully, well, not hopefully, but it should cut off when it gets to those points. Or even those points. Those points never give me problems. That's weird. Maybe that just needs a clean in there. Or maybe I'll just add another wire down there. Okay, so all that's left is the middle one. Put that on, and we should go. Superb. Oh, that was a pain. And I've only got another, let's see, how many have I got left to do? I've got that one there. Don't need to do that one, it's quite small. It's just the big turnouts that are giving me problems. So one there, they're done, and two over there. That's it. And the curved turnout if I decide to keep it, but I might replace the curved turnout and that curved turnout. We'll see, but they have also got the little, yeah, they've got the little terminal there as well, so might do them as well. All in all though, fairly successful, albeit I must remember to switch these off if I want to use those crossovers. Well, that actually went as planned. Now I know you're thinking, oh, just do the turnouts and the powers and all that stuff, but that's not just a one night video, that's a 2-week project. The good thing is the hard wiring is done in there, so when I add the remote motor turnout things, I can just plug them in wherever they're supposed to go. But as I say, that's a completely different thing, having the turnouts working remotely or even working electronically. So that's good for now. I've still got those ones to do so that I can really enjoy the whole loop with the older style locos. And I do have one in mind. I've got a little steam train that I added pickups to, and it's a wee bit jittery across turnouts, but it runs really good, and I'd like to run that a bit more. A little steam train. Do you remember I added the pickups to the tender? Anyway, I'm waffling. That's all for now. I've still got to edit this, and it's 3 AM, so hopefully I'll get this up for your breakfast time. I'm such a slave to your whims. Right, take care everyone. I'll see you soon. Success!